Good morning with everybody. I am saluting all of you in the name of Pachamama, Mother Earth, and I am here to share a message with all of you, part of the ancient wisdom of the Andes, which is the territory where I born in this opportunity. And I want to also offer gratitude to my sister Priscilla Gendron for inviting me and communicate about ancestors, about their technologies, and many other aspects. This territory was the place where a very important society developed an amazing civilization, which is the Incas. Of course, that before the Incas, different kind of societies established themselves, but the better known was the Incas with the creation of Machu Picchu. So let me share part of all this, and starting with myself. Since I was a child, I was always connected with the mountains where I was growing, and the mountains with nature were my main allies, my main teachers, guidance, and guiding me to other levels of awareness and to learn to offer respect and gratitude for what Pachamama is, all her beauty, all her power, all the amazing creation that exists in nature. So I was capable to absorb all this when I was a child. But as I was growing, other kind of information and experiences came to my life. And for a period, I tried to understand more of human history as a boy, and trying to do different kind of practices like yoga, meditation, and I was a boy. But when I was 16 years old, I returned to the Andes. When I was 17, I was deeply connected to most of the energy from the Andes and trying to discover, to unveil the wisdom from my ancestors. And that was coming little by little. So far that I was experimenting the magic of the power centers, the power sites, and trying to go farther of the official history, because the history was written by people who didn't have necessarily a personal experience in the other levels of human consciousness. This is why history was so straight, so simple, didn't seem to be right in many ways. Then I decided just to go to adventure by myself, and through my personal practice and my dedication to be always an early person, all my wake-up calls were before sunrise. That was since I was a boy. So, and today, of course, that is not different. I continue in that energy. When I was a child as well, I was very close to the physical training, sports, and all this. And that gave me an amazing ability to really being in the mountains as being part of. It was not difficult to be walking, to be running. And all this personal training after all these years sure facilitate in my path the approach to amazing scenarios and to go to do explorations. And through my personal preparation, it was one day that I became initiated by Pachamama and by Tata Inti, which is the sun. This initiation happened in the majesty of the remains created by the Incas, the Inca city of Machu Picchu, city that I named later the Crystal City, because this city exudes the energy of peace, light, all elements together, but many things didn't have an answer. Then in 1992, 28 years ago, I received a solar initiation. And after receiving this solar initiation, when the sun was touching my forehead, was touching my heart, that transformed my inner reality. And like that, I awake to other levels of understanding of our ancestors. I was touched by the light, and that transformed me, opening many doors and going deeply in the essential of the remains of our ancestors, like connecting with their temples, with their observatories, or discovering other observatories, and how to understand the creation of these great people. And little by little, I continued doing more discoveries, discoveries that nobody knew, that were not written in any text. People didn't have idea. And in 1997, I wrote my first book, The Awakening of the Puma. And this book opened the doors to many other people, other professionals, to understand other aspects of the Andean civilization, and then, of course, the ancient technologies. And so, let me go a little farther in that for you to feel not separate anymore of what is our nature. In our nature, we want to have a good life. We want to have, all the service accomplished. We want to be in peace. We want to be in good health. So this is part of human nature. We cannot separate. There are many people, they think that our humanity was good to be just in the caves or just be a hunter or a fisher or looking for seeds. This is just the basic. There is a moment that human being is doing a jump, a quantum jump, which means going deeply in all the essential things. Connecting, understanding that we're not separate, we're not isolated. This was so amazing how our ancestors, they were able to connect with the Pachamama energy and exploring heaven so far that they create what they did. And who doesn't know, a picture of Machu Picchu or knowing a little about the Inkas? Of course, the official history is putting this in the text, but my work was to go deeply in all that, to unveil things that nobody had idea. And we are not far of June solstice time. I know that what I am recording now will be shared with people in the next weeks. Probably it's not going to happen in June solstice. But anyway, I am just sending to you the energy of this amazing power from the sun and the earth and the light, which is activating our own resources in order to transform our reality, as our ancestors did. There is something important to understand too, that our ancestors, they were not perfect people, but they were very evolved for their time. And they didn't want to compete against nature. They wanted to be an ally, a friend. And this is something that probably we have to rescue, because in the last centuries and the last decades, our modern civilization is being abusing of what natural technologies can offer to us. And we are paying a price. So if before what's happening now, people somehow they were having hope, so then we have to return, but receiving the lesson. We cannot be the same anymore. This is making a transition for the planet. And in this transition, you have to become to your roots. The roots are how you are connected to earth and heaven, and how you are using your potential, using what nature manifests in order to help you to be in balance. So this is not something that is coming as a unique thing and nobody knew before. No, this existed already. But people, they've been forgetting. Then, in order to return to all this, it's important these kind of events, and I salute for the organizers for sharing this proposal, connecting with different leaders, different teachers from the planet, and like that to help to awaken. So in the Andes, our ancestors, in the look for a good quality of life, they needed to explore themselves. They were not satisfied with the simple things. It doesn't mean that misery, that poverty is part of what is making us growing or evolve. Absolutely not. Because we are a perfect machine, which is our physical temple, our bodies, with amazing anatomy and distribution in such an order that is helping us to develop a higher connection with us and with heaven. So we have to go deeper into ourselves, and for that we have to explore fully our body and also opening possibilities to our brain. You know, our brain is the perfect machine, and the brain will have the understanding of the mechanics, and our heart will let us know if this is right or not in the feelings that need to be. So if we combine our brain and our heart, the result will be amazing. Then don't forget of that. Don't forget of an essential exercise that people, they don't think anymore, which is breathing. Breathing is being part of human nature since we're born, but it became so automatic simply that most of the people disconnect. Then right now it's important that we have to put in practice more than ever all our resources, our natural resources, because our ancestors did it. For the ones who came to the Andes, and when they visit the crystal city of Machu Picchu, they were always surprised for the beauty, the harmony, and all that. When visitors came here to Cusco, to the Sacred Valley of the Inkas, or to the amazing Lake Titicaca, or to other latitudes, to other places in this territory, they were amazed for what our ancestors did it. So all those things that you saw was the result of putting together specialists in all aspects. If we will put all the disciplines together, we will have a package, we will have a product, a complete vision. And the creation of Machu Picchu was an example of the good quality of life that these people, they were looking for. And this is very interesting. I've been in that amazing city more than 1,000 times because I am living and I am teaching directly in the master places. And which is special when we are visiting such a city, Machu Picchu, and I am explaining about the location of the observatories, the temples, the terraces, the agriculture system, the fountains, the respect of the hills, the rocks, the organic architecture and all that. Many people, they've been asking me, Mallku, but this looks very nice, beautiful, almost perfect, amazing. But where was the healing center? So think about what these people, they are asking me. So in a city that was proposed by the masters, where the main experimentation was awareness of yourself and the connection to heaven, people, they are asking me, and that happened a few times. They're asking me, where was the healing center? So the simple answer is, in order to have a healing center, we have to have the sick people. And when we have sick people, sure, we have to create a place in order for these people to be treated. But the vision of these people was not to have that as priority. The priority was the enlightenment. The priority was the fully initiation in your life in order to be transformed. If we are doing that, we are putting the energy in order to reinforce ourselves instead of using our mind to become sick. Of course that in that ancient time, disease exists, but having a natural way, people, they could experiment, a harmonious life, not perfect. Don't ask for that, because they were not perfect, but they were advanced. They were looking really for harmony. But right now in our societies, is being created a dependency. And even sickness is part of our daily life, where the medicine should be there because all of us, we are sick. But please, I want to put the seeds that we are perfect machines, and we have to bring back our own power in order to be healthy people, in order to use our own energy and power to really expand in the planet, starting with us, connecting with our beloved, our family, and then our neighbors and community. And we are doing this, we are impacting the world. The planet is our home. Our ancestors understood all that. This is why they were naming Pachamama, Mother Earth. And this is a beautiful expression which is giving recognition to our nature, who we are. And we are the descendants of this beautiful Pachamama. And Pachamama has her own perfection, her own way, her own manifestations. If we return to that essential, sure that nature will be our beautiful ally, and we will be not suffering, and paying a terrible price. Disease, emotional interferences, craziness, all these kind of things that are part of this new society. Then it's not difficult to bring back certain practices. What we have to look is for coherence. What you eat, what you do with your physical temple, and what you eat probably is essential, because the roots and the energy, the pristine things that are coming from nature are in tune with what you need. Then it's important to start changing certain kind of practices, to change all these interferences created by the society, by the families and all that. I am a vegan person, and I am a runner. I've been doing marathons. There is a famous trail to get to the crystal city of Machu Picchu that years ago is being not popular, but every year almost is being promoted a kind of marathons. And a long time ago, I did it in 5 hours running from the beginning of that trek, path, hiking. And other people did it in lower time, for sure. But my 5 hours, that was good timing. And that was proven to me that it's possible. And it was not the only time that I did. I was guiding people, running all this marathon in 8 hours, 9 hours with professionals, marathonists, guiding, which means running a few, half an hour, 45 minutes, 20 minutes, arriving to an amazing place, explaining, and continue. So I am a vegan person, and I am one of the examples that is possible if we really put in practice and connect deeply with our essence. This will make a new reality. You don't need to be vegan, but advancing, becoming a vegetarian, maybe, where some of the animals will be not touched anymore, and then gratitude will return to you, because our daily actions should be in gratitude. And when we are going to bed, should be also with gratitude. There is a shamanic saying that if we have one additional day of life, we can consider ourselves winners. So be a winner in every day. So don't forget of your essence. You can change your reality. Use your full potential. Your diet is going to be important. But it's not enough just to eat rice or just potatoes. Pachamama offers us a diversity of things. If you take all that, sure, you will become your own power. Of course, we're not eternal. This is not our nature. If we will be eternal, it will be not space for more people in the planet. And right now, there is a controversy because people are pretending that there are so many inhabitants in the planet and we have to reduce population. So instead of trying to do that, which is a terrible, intention for some people, the best should be education. If we don't need to have continuously creation of new populations all over, education needs to be. Right now, there are technologies in order for us to prevent men and women. Unlike that, we will bring to the planet only the ones that are good enough in order to create the balance. But right now, the intentions of some, that's a terrible thing. This is why right now is a time as well for awareness. It's a time as well for resistance. Not because we have to start fighting. No, it is because we have to become strong and to co-create communities in order for communities to become strong. Understand that we are not isolated anymore, never being isolated in the extremes, so far that always human beings, they were looking for connection, socializing. This is part of our natures, and this is what our ancestors did. Our ancestors had an amazing practice in order, for example, in Cusco, to try to bring all nations together and taking the best from each Andean nation. If some nations were specialists in working with the metals, come here. If some others were specialists working with the hydraulics, come here. If some others were working with pottery, with textiles, with architecture, come here. All together we can make the difference. And this is interesting because when I travel, and I've been in different nations, and when people, they are making a presentation, and before going to share in the public part of the Andes, people, they were asking me a few times, Mallku, in order to introduce you correctly, let us know from which tribe are you coming from. I am saying to them, let me explain to the people. Because fortunately for the tribes, or unfortunately for them, I am not a descendant of any tribe. I am a descendant of a society. We have to understand that we are going farther of the basic. We cannot be hunters our entire life, fishers, taking the seeds, looking here, or the fruits, and when we are finishing the resources in this side of the valley, let's move somewhere else. We are finishing the resources over there, let's move somewhere else. This is a tribal practice, which is very much simple in the ways how they accommodate. They survive first and then they establish little by little. But when a tribe meets another tribe and meets another one, and they will be creating the community. The community is the first step in order for all of us to be ready to grow deeply and faster. Because in a community, we are sharing. In a tribal practice, imagine we are inviting all the tribes, the ones you want, in order to have the gathering of the tribes. And here, imagine you have 100 tribes. And then we will ask because we want to learn maybe their ways. So when they will be sharing their ways, after finishing, one, they're saying, this is my way. This is the way of our tribe. The other one, this is his way. That's their way. And like that, everybody. When they finish, they will say, okay, everybody show their ways. Yes, okay, goodbye. See you next time. And they continue like that. This is why you are never, putting all the tribes together because they need to evolve to become a community. In a community, they will be capable to share. It doesn't matter if this is my way, If that way is better, that way can help me. And my way can help you. And like that, we can create an amazing, vision, a unique, in order to understand each to the other. And when communities are meeting, all these communities will create the society. And the society offers to us something unique, which is a specialization. Specialization means if your practice is taking you to explore engineering, become an engineer. If you are in nature with the herbs, with the plants, become an herbalist. If you are having vision to connect to the stars, to the sun, to the moon, etc., becoming an astronomer. And so each of us will have our ability. The problem right now is that people, they pretend to put all in one package with one destiny, with one action, like schools, like higher schools and other kind of massive ways of education. So there is a moment that we have to really explore much more of us, and that starts when we are a child. Our ancestors, they were knowledgeable in all that because they understood human nature in that way, saying, okay, why I have to force you to be a gardener if you don't have any kind of ability for that? You are not interested in that. Why I have to force you? Or for you to be a builder, you don't have the understanding, your interest is other. So it's simply, we don't need to go against the current. Follow the current. This will help us to become a specialist in what your tendencies are taking. This will make a different society. So the Andean society was the result of all these people together, and like that, they create amazing projects like the Crystal City of Machu Picchu. So in the same way that people, they were asking me, where is the healing center in Machu Picchu? I say, sorry, here they were not interested in proposing that because that city was meant to be for human awareness, which means that was not open to everybody. Maybe in the future, they will be planning to open to everybody, but in the beginning, not. That was a secret and a sacred city for the chosen ones. To be a chosen person, it doesn't mean that you necessarily are special because your status, because your money, because your family name. Not at all. To be a chosen one is because your abilities, what you can conquer with your abilities, what you can do. And all of us, we have something special to develop and to teach. So there you will become a specialist in that, in what you are doing. And sure, if you are a specialist, maybe others they will need. And if so, you will become a chosen one. So sometimes in the society, it's been the discussion about why having a kind of distribution, you have the leaders, you have, the mentors, the masters, you have the other people. So human being is being like that. Our ancestors, they were not different. Somebody who was knowledgeable, people they wanted to follow, they wanted to learn from them, became the leaders. Right now, they are pointing to us as the chosen ones in order to share with you this amazing ancient wisdom. So, and you are the chosen ones because you are opening your windows to receive all this. If we are a chosen one, as we do in shamanism, the understanding is to go deeper in loving yourself. Because when we love ourselves, we understand that we deserve the best. Of course, we are not perfect, forget of that. But anyway, this amazing human experience is amazing, which is helping us to enjoy. And confrontations exist. This is part of what we are also receiving in life. But confrontations are lessons. And we have to go over confrontations and to learn more about ourselves and to become strong. So ancestors were not different of who is looking for awareness. Then I share with all of you this message from the Andes, hoping that in this transition of the planet can be useful. And we have to be strong. We can make the difference. Respecting ourselves, respecting nature. If so, Pachamama will be again our main ally, and this is what we are looking. So don't forget that we are not isolated. We're not alone. There is much more to build, much more to create. And if we become strong, sure, the planet will receive the benefit. We have to stop abusing of nature, the kingdoms in nature, the animals. We're not survivors in eating anymore. Only certain latitudes or tribal groups that they are still part of the environment where they are living. But most of us, we don't need that. So please honor yourself. We are making the difference for sure. And like that, we will change reality. So don't forget, in our essence, who we are, cosmic beings connecting with this amazing terrestrial experience, which is being most of the beautiful thing. I am proud to be in this time. And I am proud to be sharing and experimenting what I did in my life. I feel very comfortable because this is what our ancestors, they were teaching. And the shamanic path was bringing me back to the sources. Shamanism was the experience of the planet reality, the nature connection, the personal exploration, where you don't have beliefs, you have experimentation. This is why when people, they are asking me if I believe in God, I do not. I feel the divine in my actions, in my personal experience. So do not separate. Our nature will take us sooner or later to heaven. But we have to start preparing ourselves, loving this amazing terrestrial experience, which is unique. I don't want to escape of this reality. It's being my main guidance. This planet is my home and I love. The mountains are here to really guide us. Then, wherever you are, sure you will find the ways to offer respect to yourself, the ways to put your physical temple in action. We understand that some of the nations, they've been forced to be isolated, which is the case of this nation where I am right now. But still, I have the ways to do my personal exercises, my daily meditations, my breathing practice. So, and of course, my personal diet, which is a style of life more than a diet, because this is cooperating with the planet and also with myself. Then don't feel yourself isolated. Don't let fears to be part of your body, your blood. This will end affecting you. So be together and be part of this new project where we have to weave a better world in respect and harmony as ancestors for a period of time they were doing. I offer respect to the quality and the vision of my ancestors because they wanted to explore all aspects of human nature as the ways to help them to be strong for what they were eating. I know that it's very sure that where you are right now, potatoes exist. And potatoes were somehow adapted to be part of human consumption by the Andean genetist. And like that became one of the products between the ones that people eat the most in the planet. Right now, quinoa is becoming also popular. And that was also adapted in order to have a variety and with nutrients that are amazing for human body. Then, and other products that are coming from the creativity of our ancestors. Maca is also becoming popular in different nations to energize yourself. So all what our ancestors did was in the look for a comfortable life. So don't forget of that. Misery is not part of our nature. Poverty, in our ancestors' time, everybody had an activity. It doesn't matter if you are not building something, but you will be doing something else. You know, all were not farming. Some others were doing the farming. Then we have to understand the speciality of all becoming together. And like that, we will reinforce what we need and what we can accomplish. If we put to our potential, we will be creating many more things. This time is forcing many to reinvent themselves. People that they've been preparing always, sure, that's not a difficult transition. But for most, it is. So if we have some calm and some harmony style of life, then we want to share that energy with you in order for you to have hope as well, and together creating a new world. Then be informed, be educated. Right now we don't have excuses because information exists all over. If so, then we don't need to be, a medium or a rich person in order to excuse ourselves that is the right things that we are receiving because of our position. Because, the simple or the people with $1 or a few pennies, they can get also information. So internet is the new window that is being opening in the last decades for human being. So I am using this way to connect with you, and I hope that Pachamama is giving to you her blessings, and the Great Spirit is giving you inspiration to do the best in your life. I am Mallku. I am saluting from the Andes. I am embracing energetically from the Andes, wishing all of you to have a good time, the best energies. And for this Inti, Tata Inti, to illuminate every morning and to give all together the new rebirth in order to preserve our beautiful home, which is our planet. I am saluting from the Andes. Until the next time, my gratitude.